Welcome to BOJTV Trending News for top stories in local, regional and international news, along with sports and local weather forecast. I'm Carla. Coming up in our local trending news, President of the People's National Party PNP Dr. Peter Phillips say the impending leadership battle has set back important plans within the party. Death of a 9-year-old sparks questions of a possible second dengue outbreak within a year. 24 arrested, 3 firearms seized in operations across St. Catherine. St. James Police seeks public assistance to identify pedestrian killed in traffic accident in Montego Bay, and Manchester gets a new Custos. Now the details. The People's National Party's president, Dr. Peter Phillips, has confirmed that the impending leadership battle has set back plans to select prospective candidates for some constituencies. It is understood that about 6 constituencies are without a PNP representation, and the leadership challenge has also disrupted the reorganization of the opposition's shadow cabinet. According to Dr. Phillips, matters relating to strengthening the constituency organization and developing a national policy strategy on which they embarked are being sidelined. The selection for the post of president for the People's National Party is set for September 7 and will be contested by Dr. Peter Phillips and Central Manchester Member of Parliament Peter Bunting. The Shadow Minister of Health, Dr. Dayton Campbell, is calling on the Minister of Health, Dr. Christopher Tufton, to immediately tell the nation if there is another dengue outbreak in Jamaica, which would be the second such outbreak to have occurred within the year. Dr. Campbell's call comes in the wake of the death of a 9-year-old child from dengue fever at the Falmouth Hospital. The Shadow Minister said he has been reliably informed that the pediatric ward at the Cornwall Regional Hospital, the CRH, is full and overflowing with suspected cases of the fever. He said it is in the best interest of the nation that the minister does not delay confirmation of the presence of another dengue outbreak to the nation because it has already claimed 1 life. Dr. Campbell is urging Minister Tufton to immediately update the nation as to the status of dengue, as this new cluster of cases shows 11 confirmed incidents. Parents, vulnerable groups and the nation at large need to know if there is an outbreak so they can take the necessary steps to save lives by responding appropriately to early symptoms, he says. This cluster of dengue cases, Dr. Campbell noted, could be the first sign of a second outbreak of dengue in a year that brings into question the effectiveness of the eradication program of the ministry. The Constabulary Force says that in their ongoing anti-gang and murder reduction strategy, 24 people were arrested and 3 firearms seized during police military operations in several communities in St. Catherine on Monday, June 25. The operations began at approximately 3 a.m. across several communities, including St. Jago Heights, Jones Avenue, Rivoli, Lauriston, Marchpen Road, Bucktown, Top Banks, St. John's Road and Homestead in the parish. During the operation, an AK-47 rifle and 10 rounds of ammunition were seized on Jonestown Avenue in Spanish Town at approximately 8:30 a.m. and 1 man taken into custody. About 9:55 a.m. a high-point pistol was found, along with 7 rounds of ammunition, in a heavily vegetated area of Spanish Town Bypass. No arrests were made at that location. Operations continued in the New Nursery area, where a Smith & Wesson firearm with 14 rounds of ammunition was seized. 1 man was arrested in relation to this seizure. The JCF is reminding the public that a reward is offered for information that leads to the seizure of illegal weapons, adding that the operations will be ongoing. The Westmoreland Police have commenced an investigation surrounding the death of a man who was shot and killed by gunmen while asleep in his bed in Hatfield District in the parish on Sunday. The deceased has been identified as 25 years old Donald Campbell, otherwise called Nafry, a mason of Hatfield District. Reports by the police are that about 12:30 p.m. on Sunday, Campbell was asleep when armed men with high-powered weapons sprayed his board structure with bullets. Campbell was shot multiple times, and upon the arrival of the police, he was transported to hospital where he was pronounced dead. The Area 1 Traffic Department in St. James is now asking members of the public for their assistance to identify an elderly man who died as a result of injuries he received in a traffic accident which occurred along a section of the Ironshore Main Road on Monday evening. Reports are that about 6 p.m. the victim, who is believed to be in his 60s, was walking along a section of the Ironshore Main Road in the vicinity of Harvey Beach when he was mowed down by a motorist. The victim suffered multiple injuries and was rushed to hospital where he was pronounced dead. The driver of the vehicle, 22 years old Adrian Chin of Davis Avenue, was warned for prosecution. Well-known Manchester businessman Garfield Green has been sworn in as a new Custos Rotolorum of the parish. Green will be replacing Sally Porteous, who will demit office on July 1, where she has been serving as Custos for the past 7 years. The Governor-General, Sir Patrick Allen, presented Green with the instrument of office before a small gathering at King's House on Monday. The Governor-General said Green's sole responsibility includes a recommendation and swearing-in of justices of the peace in the parish and supervising the execution of more legislative functions. Those were your top stories making local trending news. Now join us for news from across the region as well as our international story, sports and local weather forecast. From across the region. Trinidad and Tobago could be in hot waters with the United States of a statement made by Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley. Last Friday, Dr. Rowley slammed the hypocrisy of the U.S. as it relates to its own migrant policies after its State Department gave Trinidad and Tobago a failing grade in its 2019 Trafficking in Persons report tip. Opposition leader Kamla Persad-Bissesa is now warning the Trinidad and Tobago citizens could face the effects of Prime Minister's response. There is a Caribbean Basin Initiative program that we have with the U.S. to allow for the trading, to allow certain exemptions and so on, so our goods can be sold there in the U.S. We have certain preferential treatments under the Caribbean Basin program, and that has to come up for renewal in the Congress of the United States of America next year. You want to know what Trump could do you? Trump has a power to determine whether the program will continue for the benefit of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. That is what Trump could do you. Persad-Bissesa further criticized the Prime Minister, whom she accused of misunderstanding the tip report. This as Dr. Rowley lambasted the United States for its migrant policy while the report was on human trafficking. In international news, Special Counsel Robert Mueller has agreed to testify publicly before Congress on July 17 after Democrats issued subpoenas to compel him to appear, the chairman of 2 House committees announced. Mueller's unusual back-to-back testimony in front of the House Judiciary and the Intelligence Committees is likely to be the most highly anticipated congressional hearing in years, particularly given Mueller's resolute silence throughout his 2-year investigation into Russian contacts with President Donald Trump's campaign. Mueller never responded to angry public attacks from Trump, nor did he ever personally join his prosecutors in court or make announcements of criminal charges from the team. His sole public statement came from the Justice Department podium last month as he announced his departure when he sought to explain his decision to not indict Trump or to accuse him of criminal conduct. He also put lawmakers on notice that he did not ever intend to say more than what he put in the 448-page report. Over in our sporting report, Jamaica's Reggae Boys advanced to the quarterfinals of the CONCACAF Gold Cup despite a deeply frustrating 1-1 draw against Curacao at the Bank of California Stadium on Tuesday night. Honduras, however, took their first points of a tournament with a 4-0 thrashing of rivals El Salvador, and that ensured the Reggae Boys were not overhauled on the final day. Curacao also advanced to the knockout stage on goal difference, ahead of third place El Salvador after both teams finished on 4 points. The Jamaicans topped the group with 5. Jamaica will play the runner-up of Group D, either the United States or Panama, who are locked on 6 points ahead of their match today. The U.S. with a vastly superior goal difference. Curacao will meet the winner of Group D. On your local weather forecast, insignificant feature tropical wave east of Jamaica. The tropical wave will remain in the vicinity of the island until Thursday. Thereafter, a high-pressure ridge is expected to rebuild across the area, becoming the dominant feature. The forecast for this morning will see partly cloudy skies over eastern parishes, elsewhere mainly fair. During this afternoon, look for widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms across sections of most parishes. Tonight, partly cloudy, becoming fair. Maximum temperature expected for Kingston as well as as Montego Bay today is 33 and 34 degrees Celsius respectively. That was BOJTV's Trending News, your top local, regional and international stories, as well as sports report and weather forecast. Until next time, I'm Carla. Thanks for watching.
Audio Jungle.